So I'm now into day 2 of week 2 in my 12-week challenge, and I've chosen this week to be a week of discovering my values. What's important to me? What deep down do I actually want to do with my life, and how do I want to express it? And I'm going to use this whole week to discover these values and see what comes out and try to find out what's actually motivating the things that I do. The book I'm going to use today is going to revert back to Mind and Emotions by Matthew McKay, Patrick Fanning and Patricia Zurita Una, otherwise known as Dr. Z. And just a quote from their book, page 35, about values in action. Your values are your chosen directions in life. They're what you want your life to be about. Your values give your life meaning, vitality, power, inspiration, and motivation. They help activate you to break out of life-restricting patterns caused by anxiety and shame, or the torpor and withdrawal that fuels depression. So there are a number of areas in life that we can examine our values, and the standard ones in acceptance and commitment therapy are parts of our life that they call domains. For instance, our intimate relationships. And it doesn't matter if you're actually in an intimate relationship at the moment or not. It's about how you relate to your behavior and your values within intimate relationships. So what matters to you in an intimate relationship? What is important to you? How you wish to express yourself within that kind of relationship? Other domains are in parenting, education or learning, your social life, your general health or physical care, your family, loved ones, and spirituality, whatever that means to you, something that's bigger than yourself, that's a bit outside of just your general physical domain. How you relate to community life and your contribution to others, and how you spend your leisure and what your relationship is to that. Now, I want to actually approach this from one of the approaches that you can do to try to discover those values, because it's not an easy thing. When we get right down to it, it's not a question that we tend to ask ourselves on a regular basis. Maybe we should. That is, what matters to me in this life? What's important to me from the point of view of not goal seeking, but direction seeking? How do I want to pursue this journey of life, and what is the direction that I'm taking as I go forward? And I would like to approach this from a perspective of pain. In other words, I believe that within pain we will be able to discover what is important to us. Because only by having something important will we actually feel the pain. There are many things that happen in this world that are not important to us whatsoever, and so we don't necessarily feel pain for it. And we might be empathetic, we might be sympathetic, but not necessarily do we feel pain in something that we find no importance whatsoever. And so when we experience emotional and psychological pain, we can delve into that a little bit and see if there are any clues there to what's actually important to us from a value standpoint. So when I delve into the idea of pain that's involved with intimate relationships, what comes up for me is a sense of betrayal. Betrayal in an intimate relationship causes me severe pain. And if I look inside that betrayal, I can see that trust is something of importance. Trust is a very important value to me. And trust of fidelity, trust of being together, understanding that I can rely on somebody. So reliability is another very important value that pops out just from that pain. And betrayal does not need to mean betrayal of the actual relationship in infidelity, for instance, although it could mean that too. But betrayal could also mean emotional betrayal, betrayal of that trust in a relationship, betrayal of that sense of peace, betrayal that I can open up and be vulnerable to my intimate partner without being betrayed and hurt back or abused or taken advantage of. And so a sense of being open and vulnerable is also a value that I discover in looking in pain within intimate relationships. It's important for me to be vulnerable and open so that I can express myself freely to the other person, and acceptance of me within the relationship. And of course, we can switch all these round as well. So I want to be trustworthy within a relationship, allow vulnerability of the other person, allow them to feel safe enough that they can share with me their inner pains. And together we can work to make each other feel safer and create a space which is a safe haven for both of us. So that is what I want to try and do this week with all these different domains, and try to pull out of them some of, if not all of, the values of how I want to function in life, what's important to me. And of course, maybe in the coming weeks, we can examine how I'm actually going to put these into actions. But first of all, the discovery phase. Thank you for listening, watching, and reading.